Elon Musk says, "Thanks, Jim Cramer. So, how did we get here after all?" These two have quite an interesting history. Around Tesla's IPO, Jim Cramer, who has an opinion on everything, said, "You don't want to own Tesla stock, you don't even want to rent the stock." Musk responded, "Didn't Jim Cramer recommend Bear Stearns, who soon after went bankrupt, and called him, I believe, a contraindicator?" That being said, Musk is reasonable, so why exactly is he thanking Jim Cramer today? This is why.
Elon Musk defending his use of ketamine. It's a medication that many take to treat depression. This is in an interview with Don Lemon that was posted online yesterday.
An absolute train wreck. Not an interview, by the way. Instead, it was an extremely embarrassing, antagonistic interrogation, which was riddled with extremely basic failures of logic and reason. Entirely anti-intellectual, with a clear intent from Don to create division and put words in Musk's mouth. Massive backfire on Don's part, and we'll get to that later in this video. Stick around, because holy shit, it's hilarious. But using the term interview is probably a bit of a stretch on this one. It was an abomination at best.
The Tesla CEO suggested that taking the drug has been beneficial for investors in his companies.
Tesla is worth about as much as the rest of the car industry combined, from nothing. So I know that's pretty good. As I mentioned, we had the best-selling car on Earth last year. So from an investor standpoint, if there is something I'm taking, I should keep taking it.
He ain't wrong. Results are what matter.
That's what he says, Jim. You pointed out that it is obviously a medication that is widely used. That, you know, the Wall Street Journal's come after him on this, and so not unexpected that it would be at least part of this conversation.
It's actually a shame. Here's a man who admits that he has depression, admits that he takes a drug that has helped millions of people. And for that, he's pilloried. I mean, I think the guy is basically, I know it's hyperbole to say what he did, but I defend him as much as possible because there are many people who would never be brave enough to admit that they take this drug. And yet this drug is a lifesaver. Lifesaver meaning it saved a lot of people from killing themselves.
Yeah. Did not watch the entire interview, but I know, a good amount of it also dealing yet again with many of the issues that Musk and I discussed last May in terms of his need to share his every thought on so many different issues, many divisive issues, and why he does it. But Jim, he did offer some things about the new Roadster, and maybe, I don't know if you have a reason why the stock was up yesterday, but maybe this is one reason, because he did talk about it sort of having some rocketry stuff in there,
Which we already knew. SpaceX cold gas thrusters. There was literally nothing new in this interview/interrogation from Don. No bombshells dropped by Musk. And by the way, I do have to give credit to Jim Cramer there for defending Musk. By the way, as I mentioned, we'll get to that interview. Some feedback just after this.
A combination of Tesla and SpaceX technology to create something that's not even really a car.
Well, he has said over and over again it's a tech delivery system. Maybe that's what this is. But I think that one of the things that's happened, David, if you speak to Steve Scher, a now outgoing CEO of Hertz, the used car value of a Tesla actually has gone up in the last month, and that's allowed, that's often a floor. That's allowed Elon Musk to raise prices. That's something that is counterintuitive to the narrative that we think, but it might be true. David, the writing off of the EV is a little premature. As you and I both know, that we're...
Hey, more credit where it's due. The current narrative is EV demand collapsing, customers don't want EVs, ICE vehicles here to stay, hybrids are the new EV, and so on. And Jim Cramer is actually pushing back against this false narrative, which is impressive to see.
We're all going to be driving EVs by 2030. I think...
Holy shit, did he just actually say the truth? Let me, I have to hear that again. Have I somehow ended up in an alternative universe?
Sure. As you and I both know, that we're all going to be driving EVs by 2030.
Shit, son, he did say that. I think this is the first time I've heard Cramer say anything even close to this. And he says, as you and I know, maybe he's had conversations with David privately on this matter. I do agree, but first time I've heard Cramer say this. I wonder what he's thinking about his charitable trust's Ford investment. Last I heard, the largest position in the trust. And I wonder if legacy automotive manufacturers, including GM, who still think, at least say they're going to be producing ICE vehicles in 2034, agree with Jim and just don't want to say it out loud.
I think that this is the bottom in the stock. I said that last night in Mad Money because I've been waiting for the prices of the used cars to bottom, and they are.
Wow. Jim Cramer, who again has an opinion on literally everything, thinks that this is the bottom for Tesla stock. I wish I had the same crystal ball as Jim so I could know. Because if I did, I'd somehow like to accelerate my future income and do as much buying here as possible if that's the case.
So I'm excited about the Roadster. I'm excited about what he's doing. I just think that we need a refresh. There hasn't been a big refresh. This is a big refresh. It does matter tremendously. And in your interview, David, let me ask you. I got to ask you about in your interview, did you detect the importance of his mood in terms of creating this?
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, this is one of the most creative, not the most creative person of our era, other than Jensen Huang. And why should we care that he needs a legal substance to be able to create things that you and I can't create?
Yeah, that's a valid question. It's not necessarily one that I even think is really worthwhile of great discussion. To your point, sadly, there are a lot of people who deal with mental health issues in this country, and you want all of them to get the best treatment they possibly can.
Yeah, I worked with J&J on this to be able to see what it can do for people, and it's remarkable. And I just hope that people recognize from this man that he actually just saved a lot of lives. I don't think he meant to, but he did.
Well, actually, this from Musk clarifying, the reason I posted about ketamine at some personal risk is that I thought it might help people struggling with bouts of depression. So there was a reason that Musk shared this previously. He continues, in my opinion, it is a far better solution than being zombified by SSRIs. Now, on this matter, I can't really weigh in because I've never taken SSRIs or experienced depression, so I've got nothing useful to add. But it is quite obvious, Musk, in his own words, explaining the reason he mentioned this. It's just been helpful to him, and I certainly know a lot of people who've taken or do take SSRIs almost universally complaining about the fact that they do feel like a zombie, just numb to everything. Their personality changes, just everything. Life loses its colour. SSRIs don't sound like a ideal solution. Not to say that they don't help many people, but if there's an alternative that doesn't particularly turn you into a zombie, I can understand why Musk would mention this. Out of interest, let me know in the comments below. Anyone, any experience with SSRIs or ketamine? Share your experience below. I think it'll be helpful for other people watching the channel. So, the Don Lemon interrogation of Elon Musk. Now, I'm presuming that most people watching this video have already seen the interview, or at least some highlights or lowlights. So we're not going to rewatch that. Instead, I actually want to read some of the comments, the responses. You'll note that I'm in a new tab, not signed in here, because I don't want the YouTube algorithm potentially tailoring the replies I'm seeing below this video to me and my interests. Of course, I am a deluded Tesla fanboy and Elon D-rider, so I personally think this was one of the biggest train wrecks of all time and an incredibly squandered opportunity. Don could have had Musk and the team at X on his side, helping him with his independent content creation, but instead, he really dropped the ball. Emo, that's kind of funny. Anyway, let's scroll through and read the comments on this video, of which over 700,000 people, or only 700,000 people, given that it's Elon Musk, have seen so far. These comments will be sorted by default, which is by top comments. Over 22,000, nearly 23,000 comments. Probably 10,000 of those are crypto scams. But anyway, just want to gauge how the general viewing audience found this interview. Because keep in mind, Don is ex-CNN, literally a cog in the machine of the fake news. Left-leaning, full of propaganda, super intellectually dishonest, strong political biases, just like right-leaning outlets as well. But this is Don's first attempt at alleged independent content creation. We've seen Tucker, phenomenally successful, right? Got fired from Fox, just like Don got fired from CNN. Tucker's now started producing content on X and elsewhere, and he is killing it. So, first of all, the top comment here is actually the pinned comment from Don or Don's team. This is the first of many interviews to come on the Don Lemon Show. Subscribe for more, blah, blah, blah. And I think we saw 32,500 people had done so. My guess is that of all the comments here, surely the replies to the pinned comment from Don or Don's team should be the most positive. You know, hey Don, I loved you on CNN. Can't wait to watch this new show on YouTube. That kind of stuff, right? You'd hope. So we'll read a few of these. There's over 500 of them. Yeah, no, just came here to edit. 4 of my comments won't show up. So much free speech, blah, blah, blah. Some people get a bit deluded and think someone's deleting their comments often. They're posting words that are automatically getting filtered by YouTube. I wouldn't read into that one too much. The next reply, this was a horrible gotcha wannabe interview. The next one, surprised you didn't censor half the interview. A lemon emoji. Ooh, we came for Elon. Silly. If my workplace, so somebody's replying to some content of the interview, we'll skip over this one. If you guys have seen the interview, pause the video and read their response. This was just a poorly run interview by Don. Every other interview with Elon from other people has been amazing and interesting. This was just not well thought out. Finish the sentence when life throws you lemons. Well, finally, I think a supportive comment. Big brother Don, keep making content and grow your social platform. In assuming, I'm not sure, English probably not their first language here. In assuming you will surpass 50k subscribers in the next week just from this interview alone. Somebody replied, when life gives you lemons, throw them back at Don. I'm not going to read the rest of those replies on the pinned comment. This is an interesting tell of what we might be in for, though. I figured those, on average, will be the most supportive and positive. Okay. Oh, this is incredible. The actual most popular comment on this, the one that isn't pinned, you can take the Don Lemon out of CNN, but you can't take CNN out of Don Lemon. Brilliant reply. I mean, the guy summed it up. Can't wait for the South Park version. This is one of the most embarrassing and uncomfortable interviews I've ever seen. It's glorious. The Don Lemon Elon Musk interview, a rare opportunity to watch two people at opposite ends of the intelligence spectrum talk on current events. Oh, this is amazing. It's hilarious to see Elon change his mind about financing Don's show in real time during this interview. Who's got the like to dislike ratio? By the way, I just clicked on that because there are actually some websites out there that can see those. Apparently, 15,000 likes, 23,000 dislikes. Allegedly. This was more of a police interrogation than an interview. Don, X has hate speech that will lead to violence. Reddit, hold my beer. Elon should have went on Club Shay Shay. Got no idea what that is, but I'm not going to skip any of these comments. Elon's ears changing like a mood ring. Oh, I didn't notice that. Maybe true. Could be some extra blood flow as he's getting increasingly pissed at Don being an absolute asshole. Elon, can you spare any of that ketamine? I need some after watching this. Some random post about microplastics. You want censorship so bad you can taste it, which was a quote from Musk during this interview. It's true. Don's such an idiot, by the way. Like, an absolute, just a dumb fuck. During the interview, he said something to the effect of, I believe in free speech just as much as you, but shouldn't you say... Then he's literally talking about censoring, yet gaslighting by claiming that he believes in free speech just as much as Musk. In the same fucking sentence, he's talking about how X should censor certain things. Musk rightly calling him out. You want censorship so bad you can taste it. When asked about a conversation where Musk was having a breakfast and Trump happened to turn up, what did you discuss? Elon basically being quoted here. He did most of the talking. He loves to talk. Not getting called out here by somebody. You asked about a legal drug prescription, that would be the ketamine, and tried to paint him as a substance abuser. Clearly, we saw him hit a joint on Joe Rogan and is a noob. It's true. I mean, the guy didn't even inhale. He's clearly not a cannabis user. He asked you not to ask about private medical questions and you continued. Well, in fairness, he didn't say don't ask about it. He just pointed out quite sharply it's a very private matter to ask about medical prescriptions, at which point anyone who isn't a piece of shit would have said, I'm sorry, good point, let's move on. But no, Don keeps digging. He then goes on, aren't you worried about security clearances? Yeah. Don Lemon is a massive see you next Tuesday. For a moment there, I thought Don was going to say ketamine is a horse deworm. That's classic. Jump to the content moderation segment for serious lols. It's true. This whole interview felt like Between the Two Ferns. If you guys haven't seen that, it's kind of like a comedy thing where people pretend to get interviewed, but it's actually a big setup. Absolutely brain-dead pretend questions asked of celebrities and so on. All I heard is the new Tesla Roadster is going to fly. Don actually compared mean tweets to child exploitation material. It's true. What an idiot. This man is a walking, talking parody, just like his name. I accepted the challenge to watch it all. The result was an increase in my respect for Musk's maturity of thought and honesty. Also, I noted Lemon's tactics of leading with apparent empathy in order to open an opportunity to try and flank Musk and stick a knife in. It's a boring and repulsive interview method. So, I mean, as I said, completely unedited, all comments in order of popularity according to YouTube's algorithm. The top comments, what is this ratio? Like 95% Don's an idiot, maybe 98%. Another comment here, is this an interview or an interrogation? I bet Elon wishes he took ketamine before this interview. Yeah, so now just for a quick change of pace. I can't stop this. Everybody shitting on Don on his own channel. And again, the reason I'm in an incognito tab is so that we're seeing what's actually happening, the real feedback. This poor moron, Don Le Moron, a cog in the machine, no personality, no character, no integrity, nothing. He's just an absolute piece of shit. He's finding out that he doesn't have what it takes for independent content creation. Tucker Carlson, love him or hate him, he's got the goods. Don is getting absolutely destroyed. Somebody's removed the cog from the mainstream media fake news machine, and suddenly it's been exposed as useless. I mean, rest in peace, Don's career. Look at this. I'm not a fan of Musk, but Lemon did talk down at him, which should not happen in an interview in general. I don't agree with Musk on many things, but I don't think I would conduct the interview this way. It's basically an hour of, do you know how much you suck? I mean, this is just delicious. All right, so I'm getting so sidetracked on these comments. It's just hilarious. We're now going to sort by newest first, just to give some of the fresh feedback a little bit of airtime as well, not just the top-rated comments from people liking them and so on. Quote, from an investor standpoint, if there's something I'm using, I should keep taking it. Somebody praising that message with a bunch of emojis. Many people forget that Musk is a genius. Fortunately, he's using his gifts for good. What's it like to be oppressed by your white lover? Or do you make him aware of his white privilege and white supremacy? Don Lemon and the left have never believed in free speech, especially if your speech goes against their narrative. I'm guessing Don has a Caucasian boyfriend. I got no idea, whatever. So, a moron interrogates a rocket scientist. As the saying goes, if you want to piss off a Republican, ask him/her about what he/she has done or said. Musk became exasperated simply because Lemon was asking about Musk's own tweets and statements. There's finally one post, one reply, one comment from somebody who isn't laughing at Lemon. I have no idea exactly what they're referencing here, though I did watch the full interview. There was no exasperation from Musk being asked about his own tweets and statements. There was a great lesson in Don clearly demonstrating a complete lack of logic and reasoning. Anyway, just remember, folks, you see a crazy person walking the street out in public, you'll usually cross the road. These same people have access to the internet and computers and can reply in the comments on YouTube. I don't know if he's baiting Elon on purpose or it's just an automatic for him to do since he's been doing it for who knows how long. Elon is obviously trying to help America and stop evil that's happening and been happening. And that evil woke BS that is trying to take we, the people, down. Thank God for Elon. Wow, the difference in levels of intellect between the two. Elon Musk is so well-spoken and eloquent. Don Lemon, you're so obvious. Another quote, you want censorship so bad you can almost taste it. Oh my God, lol. Struggling to get through the whole video, watching Don desperately trying to paint narrative after narrative is pathetic. This is not an interview. This is a sad attempt to get gotcha moment clickbait video clips. Don, forgive your mother. Wow. Difficult genius. Don is so out of touch with reality. Such a tool. Wow, Don, terrible interview questions. Elon carried it. Not a Musk fan. This interview was bad. Don was clearly interrogating, not interviewing. This is a bad interview and clearly didn't want to actually interview. Not surprised he was fired though. I wanted to like it. Don really isn't likable in this. Yikes. And I think that's where I'm going to leave it. What you're seeing here today, ladies and gentlemen, even people who are not fans of Musk calling Don out for being an absolute twat, just a total ass clown. And Don has fucked around and found out that independent content creation is in fact a meritocracy. And based on the feedback here, Don's going to have a hard time. And just a closing thought. As we see Don exposed for being a vapid, shallow, small-brained asshole, adding no value, and just not having what it takes for content creation independently, just remember, Don is emblematic of the majority of people and talking heads you see in the mainstream media today. They are just a talking head, barely a brain cell between them. They exist in a bubble. Just because they happen to wear a suit or be on the television does not make them credible, nor mean they're worth listening to. And Don is getting absolutely torn apart, rightfully so, in the comments here. It's delicious and well-deserved. No doubt, of course, Don's going to go on his victimhood tour now and say, well, I'm just being oppressed. Everyone who doesn't like the show is just a racist or a sexist or a homophobe or whatever else. I'm a victim. Elon bad. It's all just Elon fanboys that don't like my content. When even Musk's haters are standing up for the guy and Jim Cramer coming out. Wow. Isn't it nice to see when a member of the fake news experiences a cold, hard dose of reality? You know, literally everybody, Elon bad, Elon bad, Elon bad. That whole lot, Elon bad. Practically 0% of the general population agrees with them. But that's not what people would think based on perceptions of hearing Elon bad all the time in the media. Another example of the difference between perception and reality. If only a few money managers realised the reality versus the perception. So rest in peace, Don, and his content creation career. Want more content? Early access? A bunch of perks? Click the links in the pinned comment. AG1 has given me a massive, meaningful boost in energy, allowing me to do a lot more every day, including using my brain more and using my body more. I highly recommend you guys and girls check it out. It's an excellent way to fill in nutritional gaps. It's got 75 high-quality vitamins, minerals, and whole food source nutrients, plus prebiotics and probiotics and digestive enzymes and adaptogens to help you deal with stress. Plus, if you click the link in the pinned comment or head to drinkag1.com/SMR, you can get yourself a 1-year free supply of vitamin D3 and K2. But don't take my word for it. Here's what some of you guys and girls have to say. AG1 has changed my life. I was, as you described, treating myself like a circus, ate like trash, rarely exercised, used alcohol as a stress crutch, cannabis also. AG1 is what gave me the kick in the ass, got me back to the gym, motivated me to do more for myself, family, my business, etc. Keep doing what you do. Now, I know there's some skeptics, the same kind of people who think Elon Musk is a fraud, reading this going, what do you thought? There's no way that's possible, bro. It must be a placebo effect. Believe it or not, this is a recurring theme. If you give your body everything it needs to feel and perform its best, including having a lot more energy, you'll need ways to use that energy. For me personally, that includes more exercise, moving my body more social activity, and more cognitively demanding tasks, including producing a fuck ton of exclusive content over on Twitter and on Patreon, plus my daily YouTube uploads. The proof's in the pudding. On to another testimonial from a viewer of this channel. SMR, you asked me to provide feedback on AG1. Here it is. It has helped with mental acuity, stamina, and intestinal waste management. Can't read between the lines. It certainly helps with regularity and digestion. That's what the digestive enzymes are for. It has also dramatically reduced my cravings for sugar. You guys need to stop eating sugar. It's fucking poison. I'm 50, 5'9", and overweight, aka a fat motherfucker. I think that's a technical term for overweight, isn't it? Is it fat motherfucker or obese? I can't remember. I average 100 hours a week in the West Texas oil fields as a safety supervisor. Jesus Christ, dude. No wonder you're struggling to keep your weight under control. 100 hours a week. Brutal. It has helped me lose weight. It is not an appetite suppressant. It can help fat people suppress cravings, and motivation to be healthier is critical for changing your diet. Love you, brother. Again, this is a great point. It's something people really don't seem to grasp. If you have more energy, everything becomes easier. It's like turning on easy mode for life. A few years ago, before I was taking AG1, my health was trash. I was struggling to get through the day, had afternoon fatigue. The last thing I wanted to do was either use my brain or move my body. Didn't have the energy. Now, my biggest struggle every day is figuring out ways to use that energy. I'm exercising way more, doing a lot more with my friends and family, and of course, my work output has increased substantially. And you can fact check me. Check out the average length of my videos I was posting to YouTube 3 years ago. Need I say more? And one final testimonial. Love this one. Okay, here's the deal for me with this AG1 shit. I'm 41 years old and not the type to eat, drink, smoke, or sleep healthy, so I was skeptical. That being said, here's what I experienced. Day 1, meh. Day 2, afternoon fatigue was about 45 minutes late. Day 3, 0 afternoon fatigue. Day 4, 0 afternoon fatigue plus extra energy. Day 5, again, 0 afternoon fatigue plus energy, wondering, what the fuck, really? See, this is the thing, right? The results for many people are just almost too good to be true. This is the same experience I had. My afternoon fatigue just vanished out of nowhere. I'm like, wait, what the fuck? Why am I not tired in the afternoons anymore? Surely, it's not that AG1, is it? Turns out it was. Day 6 and 7, same thing. Day 8, same thing. Plus, I had the want to get things done around the house that I normally would slack off and not get done. Again, the point, extra energy, you'll need to use it, you'll find ways to use it. Day 9, 10, and 11, and today is day 12. I fucking love it. So however you managed to get me to buy it, I'm so glad you did. Thank you so much, SMR. It really changed me so far. Guys, this shit really works. Just try it. By the way, this is the reason I continue to relentlessly promote AG1. A lot of people get real fucking mad in the comments. Oh my God, Snake Oil Salmon's sold out. Oh my God, he's a scammer. This is fraud. But constantly, I'm pretty sure everyone making these comments is also currently short Tesla stock. I'm not particularly concerned about people having a negative perception, those folks suffering from small brain syndrome, still living in my bum's basement syndrome, etc., writing mean comments, claiming AG1's a scam or it doesn't work. I mean, bro, when I get feedback like this is what keeps me going. Just try this stuff for a month, and if you don't get these results, get your money back. See, it's a literal no-brainer. It's an IQ test at this point in time. Testimonial after testimonial after testimonial like this. Get your money back if it doesn't work. Just try it for a month, and if it doesn't work, get your money back. Today's the day. It's finally time. Be like this guy who was a massive skeptic, but finally, after 1,000 promotions in a row, caved in, tried AG1, and has results like this. Head to drinkag1.com/SMR or click the link at the pinned comment, and please, let me know how you're feeling in a few weeks' time. Now, if you'll excuse me, time to put my extra energy to good use. I'll be recording some more exclusive content for Patreon and my Twitter subscribers. So click the links at the pinned comment. See you over on Twitter and or Patreon, and don't forget to grab your AG1. Love ya.